going the right? Yeah, I'm going the right way. Ordinary AWE Stage 1.B. Witness testimonies, Stage 1.B, dump. The second slide we called the meadow, but it was really just an empty lot with a bunch of weeds. There was a shack and a phone line. It smelled like flowers there. It was powerful. Intoxicating. We had crazy dreams there. Must have been because of the smell. I didn't like it. Didn't like losing control. In the dreams, everything was melting, and then, when we come out, everything had melted around the projector. JF Therapy Session 2010. Neil was really into it. We found out he'd been coming there more and more on his own. Then Tom beat the secret out of Neil and found the projector. He and his goons took it. JF Therapy Session 2010. We thought Neil had got lost inside the meadow when Tom changed the slide. But that's not what happened. DF Interview 2002. Extrapolated information, unconfirmed existence of additional slide designation meadow.
Let's see what they have on ordinary.
What?
It's all here. Our home, our school, the woods, the dump.
Wow. We went through a lot of effort on this. Ordinary AWE Stage 3, Public School. Witness testimonies. Tom and the others had gotten worse. Scarier. The math teacher, Mrs. Chester, tried to make them listen, and they pushed over a piano on her. Broke her legs. Then Tom bashed her head in. Bye-bye, Mrs. Chester. I always liked her. I liked math. That was the tipping point. It was Lord of the Flies level bad. The grown-ups realized something was wrong. The police came and literally dragged Tom and Hugo and the others away. Tom was screaming that the not-mother would make them all go away. They enacted a curfew for every kid in Ordinary. Mom and Dad were pissed, asking us about the dump, about everything. I remember wanting them gone like Tom had said. When we woke up the next morning, pretty much all the adults had just vanished. Was I responsible? Did I don't know. Extrapolated information. Disappearance of majority of Ordinary's population confirmed a result from slide projector related AWE. Sorry, I'm wrecking your model.
Found the slide projector in the dump outside town. Did they recreate that too? Is that where they keep it?
Huh. Oh, stage 1. Out there. Stage 2. Okay. And stage 3. Oh, have we read stage 4? Oh, maybe we did. I already can't remember. God damn it.
mentioned a poem last time we talked. By Thomas Zane?
Yes. Beyond the shadow you settle for, there's a miracle illuminated.
I looked the poem up. Only I couldn't find any poet by that name. I did find a European filmmaker who moved here in the 60s, named Thomas Zane.
What? I
No
don't...
matter. It suits you very well. The poem. How you see things. Maybe you wrote it yourself?
I didn't.
No matter. You've said a few times that you feel like there's a piece of you missing. Can we talk about that?
Okay. Yeah, it's this... I feel an emptiness, a yearning for something that I think I lost.
It's natural for you to feel that way. Your brother and your parents are dead.
No. No. Dylan's not dead. And that's not even it.
You're referring to the imaginary friend from your childhood?
Polaris. She's come back. After a long time, she's calling me. In a dream I saw, she showed me things.
Jesse.
It felt more real than anything. As real as what happened in Ordinary.
The industrial accident in your hometown? That you believe Polaris caused?
No, it wasn't an accident. There was no industrial accident, and Polaris didn't cause it. She saved me and Dylan.
Jesse...
No! It was a cover-up. The government knows about it. There were agents there. Agents from... I don't know exactly. They took Dylan. I'll find them. I won't stop looking. Polaris wants me to go to New York. There's a building there. I have to leave soon. I have to be there at a very specific time. Something hugely important is going to happen.
Jesse, you know we can't let you go until you're well. And that begins by understanding what's real and what's imagined.
Yeah, that sounds like they're gaslighting her. Although, this is... this is from the perspective of like, oh yeah, it's all real. What are they talking about? Ordinary Supplement. Ordinary AWE-24. Details. Details are largely based on interviews conducted with Dylan Faden, see interviews redacted and redacted for relevant information, and the obtained therapy sessions of Jesse Faden, as well as circumstantial evidence found at the Ordinary site. Note that accounts provided by all three sources contain conflicting data. Example: DF claims that there are 8 slides for the projector, JF mentioned 9 slides. The Bureau found 1 intact, designation 36, and the burnt remains of 6 others. Unfortunately, these slides are too badly damaged to be used in the projector. Jesse Faden is believed to be the individual responsible for burning the slides. Dr. Darling has ordered that notes. Dr. Darling has ordered that the entirety of the Ordinary Town be brought to the Bureau for examination and analysis with the hopes of finding additional slides or other altered materials. Due to the limited space in the investigation sector, this AWE will be investigated in the containment sector.
They moved the whole landfill here in the middle of New York, and nobody saw a thing. Pretty unbelievable.
Dump cessation of work order. Notice: by order of Dr. Darling, all work in the Ordinary dump is to stop effective immediately. Resources will be allocated to the redacted department. Details will be forthcoming. This area will be sealed at the end of the month. Please remove all personal effects before that time. Any photographic slides, the type used in slide projectors, found in the area should be delivered to Dr. Darling immediately. Wow. It's the whole last thing. Globe Supplement. Background. The item was found in the penthouse of suite at Redacted Toronto belonging to David Wolf, who is being investigated for illegally dealing in altered materials. See case 13-HQ-36. Bureau agents raided his penthouse and found numerous paranatural belongings, including redacted in the site of Mr. Wolf was arrested. Supplementary materials. Article from the Toronto Daily. So why would a 36-year-old Bay Street investment trader, filthy rich, married to a model, disappear overnight? That's the question that's kept Toronto high society up at night this past week. Police say it's being looked into. Some nutjob radio show in the States claims he disappeared to join the Illuminati, but it's this reporter's opinion that Mr. Wolf, bored of his job, sick of his family, left it all behind and retired in some remote beach paradise. Now he's sipping Mai Tais while the world thinks he's dead. Huh. They just fucking disappear whoever, don't they? Alright. These floaty guys are pretty annoying. Check that lab. Oh, mobile lab. Interesting.
Effective immediately. I'm setting up a new department. Dimensional research in the research sector. Transferring the slide projector there. That's where my focus will be now. The ordinary site remains as is. We'll be back to... I don't know when.
Darling took the projector to the research sector. He dedicated a whole area to it, so he knew it was important. Dimensional research. That's where we go next.
Ooh. Wait. Let's- that. Synchronicity. Have I been there? Synchronicity. I must have, and I can't remember. That must be what happened. Going. Yeah, I gotta get to a control point. There's one close by, right? Oh, what is that? Ordinary AWE Stage 4.B. Witness testimonies. We went in and met Polaris, like a star. She told us we were special. She made us special. It felt like being born, or reborn, the world fading in for the first time. Familiar, but somehow different. Polaris told us, or JF Therapy Session 2010. Polaris told us how to turn off the projector. The dung monkeys and the knot mother were coming straight at us. Dylan was crying. I turned it off and they were gone. It was over. I took all the slides and burned them. All of them except hand. JF Therapy Session 2010. Extrapolated information, unconfirmed existence of paranatural entity designation Polaris, EID-19929. Hey. Shield strength, seize. Some energy. 2. Seize. Yeah, alright. What do we got to build? Tap potential. Okay. Okay. Alright. And oh wait. Yeah. Let's travel. What are we doing here? Thanks.
Darkness engulfed the elevator. There was something there, reaching for her, trying to make her act.
Wait.
It was a distress call. Phaeton sensed a drowning man, a hunger in the dark. Investigation sector.
Investigation sector, huh? We should check this out.
Okay. I think this is the Alan Wake DLC, actually. Well, fuck it. Here we go.
Hello? Anyone here? Guess not.
You've seen the agents. Mr. Kirkland, here are latest agents confirmed missing, presumed dead, from the containment breach yesterday. Agent Jonathan Connor, researcher Ezra Cruz, Agent Caroline Dempsey, Agent Lindsay Malcolm, Agent Charles Murray, Agent Derek Shaw. Letters of condolence will be delivered to you to sign prior to sending them to their families. You will be updated as soon as additional confirmations are made. Also, per your request, a network engineer checked how many cases were backed up digitally. Unfortunately, a large number of active investigations were not archived yet, and the only hard copies of reports exist behind the firebreak. They're lost, I'm afraid. Darling investigations. Internal confidential. Summary. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, internal investigation D-084-5 was launched into the ethical practices of Dr. Casper Darling, head of research. Despite the accounts of anonymous redacted regarding inhumane treatment of a redacted currently housed in the Bureau, our official findings regarding this were inconclusive. Numerous obstacles arose during this investigation. The majority of redacted sector personnel seemed to be wholly unaware of any such redacted contained there. One redacted confirmed the redacted's code name to be redacted, but all files pertaining to that name were inaccessible, being classified under the highest clearance level. Investigators were similarly blocked from entering the redacted research wing to interview its staff. The matter was further complicated by the lack of clarity on whether non-human paranatural entities warrant humane treatment. Wow. While this investigation cannot address any charges against Dr. Darling, we do recommend an investigation into redacted research. Refer to file 9-A2-0136 for full report. Okay.
More crowded than the rest of the Bureau.
A little bit. Casey inquiry. Mr. Dennis, a request came through recently from an FBI agent asking for our files on Bright Falls, specifically on the disappearance of the author Alan Wake. Per the Interagency Information Exchange Agreement, I had some paper pushers gather up a folder of all the pre-approved files. Don't worry, all the inappropriate material is either missing or redacted. But I'm writing to let you know that we received this request from a special agent named Alex Casey. Sounds familiar, right? That's because Alex Casey is the name of the fictional detective in those hard-boiled crime books Alan Wake wrote. Pretty interesting that an FBI agent sharing a name with the most famous character Wake wrote is looking into a case dealing with a writer's fiction coming true. I think this is worth looking into, but what's your opinion? Just give the word and I'll start surveillance on this guy. Special Investigator Gleason. Huh. That does seem a little too, what's the word? Coincidental? Tractor supplement. Burrow Tractor AI82-KE. Supplementary materials. Note: miscommunication led to a local coroner examining the body of William Burrow. Burrow William, male, Caucasian. Case summary: 33-year-old man found dead on his property per police report. Remains obtained for coroner's office also include blood, urine, bile, stomach contents, and bone fragments. Autopsy findings: blunt force injuries, head. A. Lacerations, left ear and cheek. Or left ear, cheek. Blunt force injuries, extremities. A. Dislocation, right knee. B. Complete avulsion of the right upper extremity with associated fracture of the proximal right humerus. Extensive trauma, abdominal region. Complete avulsion of multiple organs, including stomach, heart, liver, pancreas, kidneys, and portions of the large and small intestine, all missing from the scene. Conclusion. It is my opinion that Mr. Burroughs' death is not the result of a mechanical accident as claimed by authorities. The removal of organs is consistent with animal attack. Huh. Is that like a tractor that... like an animal tractor? Keystone inspection. Mr. Kirkland, we stopped at Keystone on our way to the target AWE like you asked. I'm sending my report directly to you to try and keep a lid on this Groom and Morales desertion issue. We didn't find any sign of them here. Given their records, it is possible they've switched teams, like you suspected, but I don't think that's the case. An event definitely occurred here in Keystone, and I think Groom and Morales got caught up in it. The entire population has vanished into thin air. It reminds me of the Ordinary case, but that was just the adults if I'm remembering the file correctly. This is different. I think our guys are casualties, not traitors. If it was an AWE, it seems to be over. We walked through the whole town, and the only strange thing we noticed were markings on various buildings. 2 overlapping circles with a dot in the shared space. Could be unrelated. I'll show you the pictures when I get back. In the meantime, you should send a team out here to cordon this place off and maybe get the comms guys working on a cover story. Sincerely, Agent Keenum. Tractor procedures. Containment procedure. Item is not in Bureau custody. None known. Description. Altered effect. A Frank Elk tractor, olive green, dried blood on the grill when last seen. Item is capable of vocalized responses and unmanned locomotion, considered highly aggressive and dangerous. The item first came to the Bureau's attention after the death of William Burrough, owner of Burrough Farm outside of Trenton, Texas. Local authorities arrived on scene after an employee found the mutilated body of Mr. Burrough beneath his tractor. Police arrived, but were immediately driven away by the tractor. Panicked calls to federal authorities were intercepted by Bureau communications staff. A team was dispatched. Upon arrival, the agents approached the item. It responded by growling like a bear. 3 agents were injured when they tried to detain the item, which escaped. Aerial searches for the item are ongoing. Speaking to Mrs. Burrough only revealed that she had a domestic altercation with Mr. Burrough earlier the night of the incident. Whether these events are connected is currently unknown. Let's see, there was one out here, wasn't there? There's a bunch of documents in here. Ethics investigation. Internal, confidential, regarding the Prime Candidate Program. Summary. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, internal investigation P-142-9 was launched into the legality of the Prime Candidate Program, redacted by the Federal Bureau of Control. Since all known subjects relevant to the investigation used executive privilege to decline interviews, very little first-hand information was gathered. However, anonymous sources and documentation declassified by Mr. Kirkland both paint an alarmingly clear picture of systematic redacted and redacted. Redacted were brought into the oldest house and placed under redacted examination and testing with the aim of appointing one as director upon maturity. This program has produced no successful cases and only resulted in the traumatic redacted of paranaturally inclined redacted. Not only is this in breach of the Ash Act, but it flies in the face of basic human redacted. This investigation team unequivocally redacted the Prime Candidate Program and recommends that it be redacted immediately. Refer to file 9-82-0136 for full report. Wow. Where is it? I saw it. I swear I saw one. Or is it this? Cauldron Lake update. To Chief Investigator Dennis. It happened again. Third time this year. Something certainly has it out for our redacted. Could be raccoons. The locals certainly complain about them enough, but why the hell would raccoons keep going after a monitoring station? Doesn't add up. Anyway, I've got a bureau tech going to the site next week to take a look. Next on the list of recurring problems is the staff at the Lake House Research Station. How am I supposed to effectively keep an eye on Redacted Lake if they won't let me see any data? Hell, I don't even know what they're researching out there. We need to petition them again to share their info with the investigations agents. It's only a matter of time before this Redacted hits again, and I want to be prepared. Anyway, if anyone in HQ asks why the Bright Falls report is a little thin this month, tell them it's because we couldn't make any readings. In the meantime, I might invest in some raccoon traps. Sincerely, Agent Estevez. Staffing issue. Mr. Dennis, so yes, there's an increase in AW cases, and yes, it would be a good idea to put together a special task force to examine exactly why that is. However, it seems that a tiny little detail has slipped through the cracks. We don't have the damn staff. If you expect us to detect, investigate, and process more AWE cases, you need to give us more people. It's simple math. Between the staff we lost in the Hartman thing, and the ones who left for other departments after Kirkland quit, we're barely managing to keep up with the workload. Hell, just filing the paperwork for all the altered items we left behind in the sector has been an ordeal. Another thing, and this is going to sound paradoxical, but we have an overcrowding situation. This lobby isn't meant to accommodate a whole sector's worth of staff. We put forward a motion to move investigations to a more suitable location months ago. It better not still be sitting on your desk. The people are getting restless, and as Kirkland's interim replacement, it's your job to handle it. Best regards, Agent Grayson. Oh, what is this? Resignation letter. Redacted of Redacted 2019. To whom it may concern, it is with great anger and regret that I tender my resignation as head of investigations for the Federal Bureau of Control. I do this in protest of the rampant disregard for my department's redacted. My staff cannot continue to work in these conditions. Previous requests and warnings have fallen on deaf ears, so I must now rely on my actions to speak louder than my words ever could. I blame this situation on our redacted, who has routinely ignored my requests for assistance in reclaiming the parts of the investigation sector lost to the redacted loose inside. I will never forget the screams of brave agents begging for us to open that firebreak. I will carry that shame for the rest of my days. The redacted has failed his agents. I shall never forgive him for that. Sincerely, William Kirkland. Wow, that sounds very uncool. So many files. Regarding Dr. Raya Underhill. Dr. Raya Underhill is a professor at the University of Woodrow in the United Kingdom, where she teaches biology with a focus on botany. Dr. Underhill once worked with the Bureau as a parabotanist stationed in the research sector of the oldest house. She served with no incidents or demerits and is praised by those who formerly worked with her, including Dr. Darling. Dr. Underhill has no known connections to paracriminal organizations or any record of breaching her NDAs since leaving the Bureau. Her civilian behavior has been ideal, with the exception of an ongoing personal relationship with Dr. Darling that appears to have begun during their time as co-workers in the research sector and revisited intermittently ever since. Depending on the duration of her work at the oldest house, it may be required to have both parties sign a relationship clearance form. This investigation has found no compelling reason to deny Dr. Darling's request to offer Dr. Underhill an interim position with the aim of finding a solution to the mold threshold issue. Refer to file 7-08-5286 for full report. Official warning. Kirkland, I am growing tired of your blatant attempts to lay your incompetence at my doorstep. I know you want this to be true, but you are the head of investigations. This failure is your responsibility. What did you think would happen holding a dangerous specimen in investigations? The containment sector exists for a reason. They are better trained and better equipped for this type of work. In fact, they have admirably taken on certain AWE monitoring responsibilities that your staff are no longer capable of. This happens more and more now. And don't think your petty internal investigations have gone past my notice. You are a worm. Everything I've done has been for the benefit of the Bureau. Wow. The Prime Candidate program only failed because of Darlene. You are both failures, plotting against me. You are traitors. But the truth will emerge out of you. You are choosing to become my enemy, Kirkland. You don't want to be. Zachariah Trench, Director of the Federal Bureau of Control. Oh. Alright, I'm gonna go through my mods again, clear them out. Okay. Wow, so many files in here. Director Investigation. Official findings report regarding redacted. Internal confidential summary. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, redacted was launched into the redacted of Director Zachariah Trench. A recent change in redacted witnessed in Director Trench, including aggressive redacted when redacted with other staff, has been observed. However, this investigation is aimed at interpreting this issue rather than proving it. Notable redacted between Director Trench and Dr. Darlene has been witnessed by numerous Bureau staff. Although both declined to meet for an interview on the matter, witness accounts suggest their arguments center around the Dimensional Research Wing and the redacted kept inside. However, no evidence exists to confirm Director Trench's redacted as anything more than interpersonal disagreements. This investigation has concluded that Director Trench's behavior is not indicative of any redacted and that his fitness to lead is not in question. Refer to file redacted for full report. Wow, that's probably the petty one that he was talking about too. Wow, one of them, I'm sure. This goddamn fly won't leave me alone. Official findings report regarding incident number A-49, internal confidential. The purpose of internal investigation X-039-7 is to examine the containment failure of specimen SI-1 that resulted in the deaths of redacted agents. An inspection report of the containment equipment 3 days earlier showed no faults. Investigators suspect human error to be the cause, yet no department has provided any evidence to support this. Technicians were able to recover the researchers' notes on the specimen from the internal network. On the redacted of redacted, the specimen began displaying a sharp increase in aggressive redacted. Cross-referencing that data with various logs found only 2 events inconsistent with the sector's daily routine. 1. The air filters were changed, and 2. An hour prior to the incident, a civilian named Alice Redacted entered the sector regarding an unrelated investigation. Given their connection to the same AWE case, it is likely that Mrs. Redacted's presence is relevant to the specimen's escape and to the redacted. Investigation is ongoing. Refer to file 6-23-0721 for a full report. Alright, I'm gonna cut it here for now. In the next one, we'll be heading in here, if I remember. Anyway, hope everybody stays safe, and I'll see you next video.